Wake up and look around. If your day is ruined by bad traffic or a foolish email, you are not free. You are a slave. You are letting peasants rule your empire. This is the moment we start the military campaign for your mind. You are the undisputed emperor, empress of your destiny. Lock the gates, raise the banners, and declare eternal war on anything that tries to steal your peace. Your internal life is sacred territory. I demand you conduct a merciless audit of your own mental budget right now. Calculate the true hidden tax you pay every week. The thousands of hours, the creative energy wasted, the chances missed, and the deep sleep sacrificed, all because you allowed tiny, external irritations to become massive internal crises. This continuous leak of energy is not a mistake. It is the single most successful sabotage campaign against your potential and your future wealth. You must engrave this law into your very being. Your inner peace is the strategic fuel for every single success you will ever have. And your focus is the most expensive and rare resource in your entire universe. No one, not a sudden disaster, not the relentless critics, not the weight of your past mistakes, has the authority to cross the border of your mind and steal your stability. Life is a continuous battlefield of unpredictable, messy, and often unfair events. People will act out of their own brokenness. They will actively seek conflict, and they will tirelessly try to push your buttons just to see you stumble. While you cannot stop the flow of external chaos or global problems, you possess absolute, total, non-negotiable control over the filtering system, the interpretation, and the strategic, calm response you choose to execute inside your own secure territory. The widespread, lazy, and comforting lie that "I can't help how I feel" is the ultimate psychological prison. It is the language of eternal surrender. I state this truth as unbreakable law. Your intense feelings are not random events. They are deep, grooved, and predictable habits of reaction that you have built and reinforced over years. And any habit, good or bad, can be systematically broken down, neutralized, and replaced with a powerful habit of internal control. You are not a victim of your feelings. You are the final programmer, the chief executive officer, the master of your own biological machine. When any significant pressure hits, a massive financial problem, a public failure, or a deeply unjust accusation, one person immediately collapses, starts blaming others, and spirals downward. The other person instantly activates their highest level thinking, accepts the setback as just data for correction, and asks, what is the single most efficient strategic step I can take in the next 60 seconds to move forward? The external event was the same. The practiced conscious choice of maintaining internal control was the difference between total defeat and unstoppable forward movement. The moment you fully internalize that you are the sole owner of your emotional reaction, you stop being a puppet to external triggers and assume the full, unchallengeable authority of a self-controlled ruler. When someone deliberately attempts to provoke you, insult your work, or drag you into their toxic drama, maybe a passive-aggressive email or a rude comment in a public setting, your immediate, raw instinct is to fire back and spend energy defending your ego. But stop everything. Use the imperial pause, the strategic gap where all your power lies, and ask yourself this definitive, crucial question. What valuable, lasting prize do I actually gain from spending my limited emotional currency on this petty conflict? The factual, honest answer is zero. The painful reality is that an emotional reaction gives the attacker the massive psychological validation they desperately wanted. It confirms their temporary destructive power over you. They successfully steal your limited energy. They consume your precious focus, and they get the malicious satisfaction of knowing they successfully derailed your high-value mission. They walk away feeling temporarily strong because they pressed your button. This is not strength. This is a failure of your defense system. Real, unbreakable strength is the disciplined refusal to react. It is the cold, surgical knowledge that someone is handing you a cup of poison, and you simply refuse the drink with unwavering composure. Imagine the attacker trying every trick to make you explode, and you meet them with calm, neutral stillness, and you simply turn your attention back to your important work. Their attack fails instantly and completely. The law is non-negotiable. If you give anyone the power to ruin your day, you have voluntarily surrendered your freedom and focus to them. Recapture your power now and fortify the walls. Your focus, your time, and your mental energy are the most critical, limited, and essential assets you possess. They are the capital of your life. If you had a gold vault, would you leave the key under the doormat for strangers? Then why do you allow your internal bank of peace to be drained so easily? Every single time you choose to worry, argue, or fixate on a negative person, you are actively stealing time, energy, and resources from your future, successful self. The people who spend their lives creating conflict, spreading gossip, and living in chaos are the most miserable and broken people you will ever meet. They are emotional beggars seeking partners in their pain. Their misery is their own heavy, toxic debt. You're not running a free, global bailout fund for their problems. Truly successful, high-performing individuals are absolutely ruthless about their energy management. They know every minute spent on stress or resentment is a minute that cannot be invested in strategic planning, wealth creation, or deep restorative rest. You must become incredibly selective, fiercely protective, and completely unapologetic about where you allocate your attention. Not every low-value sound needs your ears. Not every person's opinion deserves even a millisecond of your valuable thought. Treat your mental energy like it is the only fuel available for your rocket ship. Use it only for launch and travel, never for wasteful, unnecessary idling. You must now implement the ultimate strategic weapon of internal power: absolute, unflinching silence. Never ever confuse this silence with fear, weakness, or surrender. Silence, when executed by a mind under complete control, is the most dominant, most powerful, and most psychologically destructive response you can deploy. When you meet noise and aggression with deep, calm quiet, you immediately become the most powerful force in the room. Silence makes you totally unreadable. If attackers know your precise reaction, they control the script and the clock. But when you meet their chaos with stillness, you break their pattern, you stop their momentum dead, and their attack fails completely. Silence is the smartest, most dignified, and most crushingly final answer to foolishness, disrespect, and low-level energy. While the crowd is busy exhausting its spirit in meaningless shouting matches, the silent master is preserving their energy, gathering intelligence, planning the multi-step strategy, and securing the total, inevitable victory. You must deeply activate the psychological shield of the wall of non-negotiation. When external negativity is aimed at you, you must filter the data instantly. Is this criticism coming from a genuine, helpful, and loving place, a coach? Or is it just someone projecting their deep insecurity, envy, or personal failure onto my life? You must ruthlessly dismiss the latter. Remember this powerful saying: if someone is constantly throwing mud at you, it simply means they are standing in a dirty, unstable place themselves. When you fully accept that an insult is just a clear flag signaling the attacker's own internal misery, you instantly stop taking it personally. You are not a human psychological sponge designed to soak up the collective anxiety and stress of everyone you meet. When someone tries to hand you their heavy, toxic anger, you have the absolute right to look at it, recognize that it is emotional poison, and simply say no in your mind. Visualizing a solid, unmoving titanium wall that blocks the delivery completely. Be the immovable rock that their negative waves crash against and immediately dissolve into nothingness. Their problems are theirs, and your peace is yours, and they will never mix. Guarding your peace is not a hobby. It is a full-time, high-security, military-grade mission. Your peace is the quiet, perfect environment where your best ideas are born and where your courage is forged in steel. The world will constantly test your boundaries because your calm, centered state is a harsh, silent mirror that reflects their own miserable, chaotic existence. You must establish a rigid, unbreakable law. Nothing and no one negative is permitted to live inside my head under any circumstances, not even for 1 minute, and especially not for free. Think of yourself as the undisputed emperor of your own successful nation. The emperor does not leave the throne room to debate every loud argument outside the castle gate. The emperor stays focused on the stability, the economy, and the long-term vision of the empire. Protect your peace by aggressively saying no to all time-wasting drama, no to people who act like emotional thieves, and no to any activity that makes you doubt your own amazing capabilities. What other people choose to think of you is 100% their business, their personal fiction, and their problem. You owe them zero defense or explanation for your decisions. The moment you stop needing any external high fives and stop wasting time fighting your critics, that is the powerful day you achieve total, permanent freedom and become absolutely impenetrable and untouchable. Innerly, the single biggest, most heroic, and most profitable act of self-mastery is the difficult, constant commitment to let the past go completely and forever. Holding on to old grudges, past failures, or yesterday's mistakes is exactly like trying to win a foot race while dragging a 10-ton chain. You cannot run fast toward your successful future if your back is constantly burdened by the emotional garbage of the past. Letting go is not weakness or giving up. It is the ultimate, strongest tactical maneuver. It is choosing your limitless, potential-filled future over your painful, restrictive history. You cannot grab the amazing new opportunities coming your way if your hands are still tightly clenched around old disappointments. You must consciously identify the lesson, take the necessary wisdom, and then drop the emotional weight completely and permanently, never looking back. Every single day you choose to forgive, you choose laser focus on the present, and you choose to look ahead, you become exponentially lighter, faster, stronger, and an unstoppable force heading directly toward your inevitable success. Control your thoughts, control your response, and you control everything in your life. This is the ultimate freedom.